Okay. We are back, guys. Let's go. We're so back for a part two. Somewhere, what's good? I'm fine, man. Part two, how are you feeling?
I'm good. Ever since we did part one, I think the responses that I've gotten are very intriguing.
They're
Crazy. They are crazy.
Dead ass, man. I didn't even know, like,
People have different opinions about the topics that we had previously.
yeah.
And of course, they're asking for more. That's why we are here.
What have you kind of like, looking back at part one, what's like your overview reflection of what we talked?
The overview reflection is people are willing to listen to the stories that MBAC is trying to showcase. And they are willing to like support the company. They are willing to give stories about different communities in Kenya. So I'm looking forward.
That's nice. I'm still intrigued about that story of bullfighting. Like sometimes I still think of our own lives. So, but I've made a lot of it. That's something like I was happy to learn about.
That's why you should come to Kenya. Go and visit Kakamega.
Now I have to check it out, man. So today, well, guys, just before I continue, you should all go back and listen to the last episode if you haven't, and all join us on our journey moving forward, because there's so much that we will be giving you. Now, for this topic, we'll be talking about the effect of dependence. What do you know about the effect of dependence, and what does, just throwing that topic to you, what do you kind of like feel? Like what's going on in your mind from just that?
Okay. I believe that dependence is maybe depending on other people to do things for you. So as always, maybe from our history as Africans, we've always been dependent to colonial countries, if I may say.
Interesting.
Since we've been colonized, we've always been directed to depend on Western countries.
Yeah.
Which has also framed our minds to be in that.
For better or for worse.
Yes, we are always depending on someone to do things for us.
Yeah.
Which I think is a bad thing.
That is close enough to what we'll be talking about.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about it obviously from the context of Africa and Kenya. We would have a nice back and forth like we usually have.
Yeah.
So with what we're talking about depends on, we have to conclude on like how obviously dependence is a very convenient thing to have, especially when it's just starting to happen. You know, we love dependence. We love something to be done for us as human beings.
Of course.
As a child, we've been dependent on our parents, school, you know, depending on work security.
Yes.
Like there's so much to depend on. But like, you know, there's also like a long-term effect of when that it doesn't start to feel the same when you like, you know, when you're 35 and like depend.
You're an adult and you depend maybe
on mommy or dad.
even on your job.
Yes,
I see so many corporate people that depend purely on their jobs.
Yeah.
And it comes to a point where maybe they lose their job.
I mean, you see with 2020, right? Like a lot of people are losing their jobs, and all of a sudden, like, where's all that? What you thought would never leave you, all of a sudden is no longer there, and you are not prepared for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The invention of AI, so many people have lost their jobs.
Yeah. It's a very interesting thing. So now I just kind of like want to ask you about, let's say, how that relates to African music. It's a very, very interesting thing. I love this topic so much because
Okay. I didn't see it coming.
yeah.
Anyway, about African music, we have. I'll talk specifically about Kenya, because that is what maybe I interact with on a daily. We have so many great artists in Kenya. Artists as a whole, not necessarily music, but artists in terms of maybe content creation, in terms of music, in terms of dance. Actually, these are just people showcasing their talents. And as a tourism company, of course, this is something that it creates traffic, or rather, it creates it brings an attraction to whatever we are trying to do. So when we have artists and people who are showcasing talents out here, it's a good thing for a tourist company like this one to tap into that and use it to like convince people to come to Kenya and experience this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like music is always a tool, isn't it? Like it's tool to like attract people. So many things that I have discovered in my lifetime growing up came from discovering it through music. So many countries, so many things about certain countries.
Exactly. And musicians, they always have effects to so many people. Yeah. In Kenya, we call them kio cha jamii. They are like a reflection of our societies.
Yeah.
So music is something which is very key.
It's the fastest way and the most effective way rather to like pass information.
Exactly.
It's always strong. It's
Exactly. And most of like the main events musical events that we have in Kenya, it's like the Soul Fest, which is a event that usually happens like every year. It always happens in December.
Yeah.
And it brings together artists who are talented, and it gives platform to most upcoming artists, which I believe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We also have events like Mudhoni, the drama queen, has a certain event called Blankets and Wines.
Okay.
It's also an event. It's a platform for young people, young artists, which is a good thing as well. And I think the other events that we usually have, these tribal events. I don't know how to call it. They are called
That showcase like more of like traditional
artists. Yes. We have Luo festivals, we have Kamba festivals, Luya festivals. All those, they are musical events that they are very key to Kenyan culture.
That's something I'll be a lot more interested in with the traditional one. I think when it comes to like East African music, I'm a lot more, I gravitate towards the traditional music rather than even the more modern one, because the traditional music be slapping, I won't lie.
Okay.
Would you generally consider like all these forms of like Kenyan like genres, would you generally consider them as blanket African music? Is it safe for me to define them as all African music? Like considering all the type of music we make in Africa, like all the ones that you just mentioned in Kenya as well. If I call them, oh, I listen to African music and it could be any of these, would that be a politically correct statement for me to make?
I don't think so, because as Kenyans, we are very different, because I think we tap from different cultures. If you listen to maybe our hip hop artists, they will be more related to maybe the US and the Western countries' cultures. If you listen to our R&B artists, they will sound more Western. But if you listen to our local artists, maybe local people will resonate with them.
Yeah.
And I think if you talk of artists that within maybe artists that resonate to young people, we call that kind of music genge.
Okay.
In Kenya, it's called genge.
I think I've heard of that.
Yes, and genge is now something, maybe I'll relate it to like pidgin language in Nigeria. It's called Shem.
Okay.
That is the common language that is used by those artists, and it resonates with young people. And the young community really support this kind of music. And that is literally what defines maybe music from the angle of a young person who lives in Kenya.
But can one say that because we don't have kind of like the structures that would have all these, obviously Kenya has a few, even Nigeria has a few, but I don't think our industry, our entertainment industry, our music industry is strong enough for us to have to make a statement and be like, you know, this person makes R&B, this person makes soul. Because I feel like within the global context, when you say you're African, there's a general idea that you make Afrobeats.
Afrobeats, yeah.
Even if you're a rapper, I've even heard the term Afrobeats rapper. Like there's the Afrobeats to it, just to I don't know. In a way, in the beginning, I used to feel like that was a nice way to define us, like kind of like we have a say in the global market. But with time, I started to feel like now it limits us, because we've now kind of like, if one person is making pop music, and one person is making rap music, they should be able to be defined as a rapper rather than an African rapper.
Yeah.
Because it's that African elements to it.
I think this is the disadvantage of letting other people share.
Dependency thing, like
Dependency thing that you're talking about.
Yes.
It's letting other people describe us.
Yes.
So if maybe let's say maybe what is this event that usually helps Nigerians? It's a cultural event in Nigeria. Not cultural. It's an event that recognizes artists.
Is it Headies? Is it no, not Headies?
Grammy.
Not Headies.
No.
Okay.
There is an event in Nigeria that usually recognizes artists. You see, such event could pick maybe an artist like Calligraph Jones in Kenya and define Calligraph as the representation of Kenyan hip hop.
Okay.
And that is what the world out here will recognize as maybe Kenyan hip hop. But if these events are done by Kenyans and people who live in Kenya, they understand more.
They just call it hip hop.
The Kenyan genre of music and everything. So if we control the narrative as Africans as a whole, or rather as Kenyans, definitely we will categorize this kind of music the right way. We will have hip hop artists under one category, and we know who to bring in that pool. We will have R&B artists under another category, and so on. And so
Yes, because that leads me to a very important topic. I just remembered how a few weeks ago, actually, I think the Grammys awarded Tyler, the very popular artist Tyler, as the best African act. I believe it's something like that.
Yeah, it was the best African music performance.
Yes, best African music performance, and
the song was Push to Start.
yes, Push Start. Really good song. I really like the song.
Yeah.
It caused a big uproar on Twitter.
Yes.
Kind of like within people, a big divide. People saying that she won it over.
It's not like a representation of Afrobeat.
Yes, like, she won it over, and that's kind of like, it's something I spent a lot of time dissecting, because on one hand, I don't want to make it look like Africans are being dismissive of their own and not celebrating that Tyler won an award, an international recognized award, which is a great thing. But on the other hand, I also understand how it may look like Tyler is a young girl from South Africa who probably grew up in being influenced by the pop culture.
Of course,
just like
from her music.
Yes. As she started making music to gravitate to that.
Yeah.
Why now does it look like her being positioned like as best African this, best African that? In a way, it limits her, and it also kind of like limits other people that are now making Afrocentric music. It's an interesting thing, because that also may come from the dependency of them, like dependency on them.
We are dependent on Grammys to maybe, how will I say it?
To define us.
To define us.
Yes.
Yes.
But are we wrong? We all grew up on all these things. Like, since we were young, you grew up on your favorite artists like the Michael Jackson, all of that, and you see them winning Grammys. But it's a thing that you admire.
It's high time we start doing it with our local talents.
Yes.
Yes, we need to come up with our own Grammy and define our own artists. This will make us more authentic. Because if we decide who wins the Grammy, and the Grammy maybe is done by people who are in Africa, they understand music in Africa, they understand different artists with their different capabilities. This will make us be more original.
Original, yes.
Yes, if I may say. Because from the perspective of the American people,
Yes,
the organizers of the Grammys and so on, those people are the ones who see Tyler as a representation of Africa. And people from Africa, maybe they have a different opinion.
Yes.
So what do we do to control this opinion?
Yes,
Because just coming up with our own Grammy by the end of the day. If we keep on depending on other people to define us, we will end up having this push and pull every time.
It's very interesting. That will also take time, though. Like, for us to say that we're going to create our own Grammys right now, we need a lot of
we don't need anything. Me, I believe we have everything. Because we already have the talent with us.
Perception is important.
But we have the
We
numbers.
need to make it feel as important.
We have the numbers. If we decide to support it as Africans,
Yes.
that is the whole point.
How can you make a regular African support a brand new award that's just been created over an
How do you
institution?
think BET and Grammy started? The same way. Yes, if you read like the origin of these all awards,
But the same way. It's easier for them because they're not kind of like going against anything. It
is easier for us because we are the owners of those artists. We have the talent that is required.
Okay.
And I believe by now we have also the platform to.
I mean, I agree. There was one time that MTV Base did something very similar. It's called Mamas.
I think Mamas,
Yes,
and we had an artist from Kenya called Wahoo,
I remember.
who won that Mamas award some years back.
What happened to Mamas? That was really
Exactly. We have revived such things because Mama was something very.
But it was also made by MTV Base.
Yes.
But it was made by MTV.
That is what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying.
I remember when you win best artist of the year in Mamas, it felt very, very strong. Because that was an African.
It's an African.
I remember, I think that was like early times when I realized that Diamond Platinum was powerful. I didn't know until now. I remember him winning this award and there was so much celebration. I was like, how powerful is this guy? But it brings a lot of unity.
Yeah, he's the king of bongo. He's a big.
There is a lot of unity that comes with that. So yeah, okay. This Mama's example now has kind of like made me rethink my whole thing. Okay. I think yes, there is an importance of us creating our own. And as far as we support it, we wholeheartedly support it. That is within the artist community, the investors, the fans, all of us decide that this is for Africa by Africans.
Exactly.
To promote African culture in the way we want it to.
Yes.
Then we will be fine.
And maybe what I'll add on that, it's on a tourism perspective.
Yes.
This music and the events that comes around with music, they shape the tourist emotions and behavior most of the time. If a tourist maybe comes to Kenya to do the things that they usually do, they can add a musical event to their itinerary and maybe attend Blankets and Wines or attend Soul Festival. I believe this will be more authentic. They will interact with Kenyans from a real angle, if I may say.
Yes.
Yes, they will interact with our culture through the music that is being played. They will learn about our artists. They will learn different talents that we have in Africa.
Yes.
And this will sell Kenya or Africa from a different perspective.
Yes.
Which I believe is more sustainable.
I think that's a perfect way to finish today.
Yes.
We like to give you kind of small short podcasts just to keep you guys teased.
Exactly.
The Red Swines. So thank you very, very much for everyone who has tuned in. Please make sure to tune in for the next one and keep supporting us to tell this story for us and by us. Until next time,
Thank you.
Thank you.